podcasting right now.
I've been getting into podcasts.
That's the podcast?
This could be a podcast.
Your podcasts.
I've also listened to several podcasts.
The portable podcast edition.
I got you a podcast.
Podcast? That's still a thing?
Yeah.
Always Murder Podcast.
Podcast too loud.
I'm doing a podcast.
It's called a podcast.
Look, I have a podcast.
Because I like podcasts.
So it is a fairly influential podcast.
Your podcast is a mess.
Pretend podcasting isn't boring.
I'm busy with my podcast anyways.
Welcome to the fictional podcast.
You'd figure after almost 7 years that I'd figure out how to not screw that up.
Nah, you know what? It's just part of the nature, baby. Hey, you know what? F it, we'll do it live.
Okay. We're gonna have sex live?
Yeah.
OnlyFans, baby.
Finally, baby.
OnlyFan. That's ours.
And remember, it's only toe insertion. That's the rule.
Who?
Toe.
Toe and who?
One toe at a time.
Oh, no. I got to go all in. Like, I'm
a
guy who's like, get the horse. We're going to do this.
That's fair. I understand. And unfortunately, ladies, I am not the horse.
I wasn't thinking that. But yes, he is. Ladies, if there's any micro dicks here.
Yeah, says the guy built like a freaking Coke can.
That's a legend, like Odysseus. The gods made that up. It's not true.
You had Ares, the god of war. It was just like, you know what? I'm gonna piss everybody else off, so it starts fights constantly.
Right? Gee, listen, you know what? Let's kick it off right there, because I've been in the mood since I saw the Odyssey. I'm not going to ruin anything. Our full review will be out tomorrow. So go check that out. And then Casey and I am sure once he sees it, we'll be doing more. I even bought a Greek helmet for that expectation.
Oh, buddy, don't worry.
So you better go see this movie.
It's happening. It's happening. I've already scheduled it. I'm going to go do the IMAX on Thursday. It's happening.
Cannot wait for you to see this movie and talk about it. It's already in my top 10 films of all time.
Wow.
It's already. I want to, and I always judge it by how many times I'm willing to go back to it without hesitation.
I think that's fair. I think that's a great way to always judge a movie. I think the best way to judge a movie, if it touches you enough that you're willing to drop some extra coin to really embrace and enjoy that flick. You know, hey, after I saw 300, I wanted to go 300 times for each Spartan Feld. So
I love it. Dude, trust me, you're going to go see this movie a lot then. You did that for 300. This movie, yeah, it's also the technical achievements for me, and being able to watch so much of the making ofs and stuff, which I feel like is so lost now that physical media isn't as overhauled as it used to be. And it's sad. Always buy physical, people. I go to consignment shops and stuff and make sure I buy the movies that do not exist. I actually had a great conversation in a thrift store today with another guy. We're both at the movie section. We're looking through. I always like to dabble, see what I don't have that I want to get, because I find that there's a lot of movies not even able to rent in streaming. And that scares me. Meteor Man was one of them. Hidalgo was another one. So I went out and I made sure and I bought them. So I'm excited. And I think Casey froze. So I'm going to talk to you. So here's basically how excited I've been for the Odyssey. I saw it last Thursday. Until he comes back, I'm going to be talking about this. But it's not going to be my review. You got to go check out my full review of Johnny Loves Movies. It's a really fun one. We really got in depth with it. We got in depth with the... Oh, you're back. Okay, I can shut up.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
You froze
I don't know what happened. I'm just sitting here.
I got you covered. You're good.
Thanks,
and then so it's going to be a really fun time. But it's the technical achievements and watching the making ofs and stuff that really like is I think, and also the fact that streaming is just assholes, but is I'm so into the physical media side of it again, and I'm not married to this idea of like I need to have everything in 4K or Blu-ray or whatever. I don't mind settling for some DVDs for certain things, stuff like that, and it's been really nice to kind of revisit that.
I agree. So I actually have been doing this a lot recently. So for those of you who don't know, I purchased a new home. I'm moving. I'm going through that entire process. Which let me tell you what, I thought I hated moving into a rental. There's something really weird about moving into a house because you are putting everything where it lives forever, you know? So there's this weird thing that happens. So I am being more technical than I ever have and really taking my time in this move. Then it's no longer the slapdash, throw it all together and just take off. So one of the things I've done is being really selective, kind of part of those online Facebook community, and seeing that, well, Xfinity is troublesome, but we have some new stuff coming. So I'm like, you know what? I'll hold out. I don't need internet right away. I've got other options. So I went back to physical media, and I've kind of been on that kick. You brought it up almost a year ago now. Geez. And you were kind of circling back to it. So I decided I wanted to try to. And the things I've been watching at home are all on DVDs. And bro, I miss the featurettes. I miss all the freaking the subtitles. The weirdest thing I missed was the freaking DVD menus. Just the menu music, like when it kicks on, when it starts, the fact that sometimes there are actually like they do previews for other movies and TV shows. Man, I missed it so much, and I'm so excited to be able to have that again. So yeah, I agree. The physical media is definitely kind of going back and touching the heart, and I'm probably just gonna spend an egregious amount of money reloading my entire movie collection.
Not only do I love that, I always love hearing that. It's cool that like you do get this time to go back and revisit a lot of those things and like kind of see maybe what you missed first time around. I'm thinking about, because I'm on this kick, and I'm gonna do a catalog of my movies. Okay. I can write them all down and like put them in a place, so that way when we open our video store, inevitably we have enough movies.
Absolutely, we will.
And yeah, so like I want to do that and like sort of revisit a lot of the behind the scene featurettes and like build up my knowledge again of, you know, the technical side of certain things. I realize a lot's going to be dated, but you know, if you go back too far, but it's still going to be an interesting frame to see how these directors, what they were thinking during these movies and certain things. I do have one thing I want to show you though.
Yeah.
Oh no, where is it? Oh no.
If it's a naked picture of Carrie Fisher, it's the greatest thing on earth.
It's 1000% that. Keep looking.
I'm sure it exists.
I used to have her in slave costume. Mary got me the poster.
I did too. It was one of the best.
It was very weird when she gave it to me. I'm like, why are you giving this to me? She's like, you like her. I'm like, you didn't put much thought into this one, did you?
It's like, babe, clearly, as much as I love the picture of her in slave costume, I want you in the actual slave costume. I'm just saying.
Am I right? I mean, still being a badass, I don't need a slave, but like the costume's cool. No,
it's all about the costume, not the actual slavery bit. Sorry, honey.
I hope I didn't get rid of the box set because the box is cool, but I might have. But if not, I have the discs. I know I have the discs. I have to find them. It's the Alien Quadrilogy box set where it's only the first 4. Oh, but that is some of the greatest behind the scenes featurettes, and it's 24 hours of feature.
Yep.
And it's worth a rewatch if you've seen it or have never seen it. Check them out. It takes a long time, but you'll get it. It's so good. And
one of my favorites, and it's one that you've brought up before, is the Alien 3 behind the scenes featurettes. Because there's this weird Hollywood thing that happens when you reach anything beyond the sequel. So hitting the third one means it's clearly a huge franchise, but all of the actors and actresses who are in it, it means more to them because they know they're part of a big franchise. So they invest on the level of, this is my job. So in the featurettes back then, I always loved hearing that this is my job perspective, you know, where they really got into the nitty gritty. What did they get into? What did they embody? What shots were they using? You know, all of the featurettes. And that was what I always burned all my Star Trek discs, man. I killed those featurette discs because listening to Frakes from the director point of view, or they would have, you know, not Henry Hill, but the other Henry who,
I know what you mean. I can't,
but he was a cinematographer for it. And, you know, being a cinematographer for Star Trek is kind of crazy because you have to go between the models and then you're going back to, you know, different stunts. You got weird B-roll. You have to make up some other B-roll, you know, so it was always neat listening to that perspective. So I agree, man. Featurette, that is screw streaming at this point. They're going to make us pay more for just what? Why? Because I want to watch a movie and I now have to watch these ads and all this other junk and I can't share it and experience it with my friends and family the way I want to. Bro, it's not worth it. Physical media back again.
That's why I always want to do, like when I do my my reviews, my classic film reviews, which for anybody who isn't on the channel looking at those, maybe just listen to the podcast. So basically it's not just a review. My review comes at the end, but I do sort of an overview of the premise, how it was made, the legacy of it, the box office, things like that, and just little tidbits here and there in trivia. And I do that for my show Classic Film Review and my show Does It Suck? And a couple of others, but they're more straggler shows. These two are mainstays. And the reason when I started doing that, I was using the trailers from literally finding the original theatrical trailers.
That's impressive. I have loved seeing some of those. Sorry, I just want to say that.
No. Because when you're listening to me talk, I want you to see how we saw it, whether it be on VHS or like a VHS trailer or a trailer from a movie theater or something that's just old school. And also so you get the idea of like, because a lot of the recut trailers now that people are doing, which are fantastic, people are doing good jobs. They're quick, they're fast cut. And then you go back and watch some of the original from the 80s or way back when or whatever. They're so different.
Yeah.
They took their time. There was actually planning into this. Like real editors of that time coming in and making those trailers were really trying to, push something that really intrigued you. Now I don't feel like trailers have that same effect.
Well, they don't. It's a flash cut to the big moments and maybe a flash cut to the big actors we want to see on screen, and they're really intense moments. They always do that flash cut to that. Yeah. One of the things that I love and appreciate about those older trailers, first and foremost, we know that there were some trailers that were terrible because it literally gave you the whole story. In like that whole 45-second
perfect
spot.
Storm.
Oh my gosh. I mean, they give you the whole rundown. It's ridiculous. And it's like, I mean, you're supposed to give us a little hope that maybe these guys will survive. They didn't even try. Yeah. It was hilarious. But that was also the beauty of those long trailers is you get to see more of an actual interaction. You get to see more of an unfolding of what the story is meant to be. I think one of the last great long cut trailers I can recall is Shakespeare in Love, where they pretty much just unfurl the whole thing. Oh, no, I know. Look, I know. But I go back to that one because that's the last long trailer cut that I recall. Well, that's a lie. Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Jessica Biel.
That was a good trailer.
And
it did not give enough away. Like you were like, nope. I loved that aspect of it. It was very mysterious.
Yep. And they did that whole found footage little bit, but also played it as what the original was. And then you throw in Arlie Ermy. I mean, he steals the whole thing. We got to be honest. For a guy who wasn't an actor, a traditional actor, the way we know actors, he's someone who brought something to the screen that I think in that movie, especially, really, it's worth a note.
I mean, he's doing good in there, but he's not working like he is in Saving Silverman. Let's be real.
Well,
the gay gym coach.
Oh my God!
Which is the reason I point that out is because it's Arlie Ermy owning that role.
Yep.
And dude was a Marine drills. Who he was in the Marines, it's exactly what you get in Full Metal Jacket. So to see him and so many times in so many roles over the years, and he's done comedy before.
Yeah, tons.
He's embraced everything, and I always appreciated that. This hardcore Marine could go in there and play these roles and have fun and always be talked about in an amazing manner. And people look up to him and stuff. And it's like, he never felt toxic in any way. Masculine.
Well, definitely masculine. I mean, obviously masculine, but he was never toxic because that was kind of his thing is he knew. And I think this is something that the military brings out very much so is there's a time when to use that. But the intelligent people in the military also understand that that's not who we are. That is a persona you have to take on. There's a time when it's necessary, and especially in training, because even as a parent, we're training idiots. I love my child to death. She's amazing, but we have to literally teach her this is hot, fire bad. So it's not anything rude or negative. That's just the way it is. So in the military, it's the same way. It's, hey, you're going to be getting shot at. You have to be able to think about this while you're getting shot at. Can you just deal with me yelling at you? Is that the worst thing you're going to have to deal with? Really? If you get your hurt feelings, you're going to get shot at. Yeah. I'm trying to make sure you survive. So I think that's also one of those deals where, especially for him, at that point, he was retired. He was happy. He had his money coming in and he was able to do something he loved. So watching it, he's always committed. And I give that up to Arlie Ermy. You're right. He is always committed to every role and really made you believe it.
Yeah. Great job. I always appreciated him showing up. And I do agree with you. Yeah, I mean, like that is it's not even tough love. It's just like you have to be able to break this barrier. And then, but I always imagine the military boot camp is kind of like mostly that. Like you're training, you're doing a lot of schooling and stuff like that. You're learning about the air, like with the Air Force or in the Marines or whichever arm you're in. But I do imagine at some point you sit in a chair and it turns into like the Mugatu ad. With and they're just like, you will vote Republican, you will vote Republican, and like
no, and so much of it is though. No, so much of it is that whole mentality of because you are being broken down, you are being brought back down, and that whole individualism has to be destroyed. And especially as an 18-year-old idiot, you're still a kid and you're still trying to figure out who you are. So you're more easily molded whatever direction you've gone. Because at 16, 17, I'm not who I was at 16, 17. I've learned too much. I've seen too much. I know too much.
I'm not even half the man I was when I was 16 or 17. I'm not even a quarter of them. I mean, no, I am. I'm way more than a quarter, I should say.
Yeah.
I wish it was still a quarter of.
Well, we just don't have the testosterone that we had back then. That's what we're missing. We're just
You need to
missing
join the military is what we need. Get checked every year. Take some shots.
Get those magical tees, baby. Get them tees up.
My penis is so hard, and I don't know why.
It's a full erection, guys.
I know you can't see it, but it's there. Don't worry.
Honest, like for real.
Here, I'll punch myself, and you'll see because it will hurt. Don't worry.
I love a little pain, baby. I love a little pain.
No, it's I always like little stories like that though when it comes to actors like Arlie Army and stuff who traversed into like the entertainment industry and really like brought something to it, not just came into it. See a lot of nepo babies now doing that, but like this wasn't his first career path, and then he got into it, and he really, like I said, he owned it. And like when an actor can walk in there and just own it and do what he needs to do or she needs to do or what they need to do, whoever, if you can feel that energy, even if they're not great. That's why I always argue when I watch certain movies, and maybe they're not good, and I got one for you. You have to watch, but it's not good. And it fits within this. There's certain movies where it's like you watch them and they're just not there, and you're not learning.
Yeah.
You're not pulling it, like you're not, it's like, yeah, you got the money to make a movie. Yeah, you're a director or whatever, or an actor, big time actor, but like you haven't changed. You haven't grown, advanced,
we haven't
or grown
seen anything. Right. Yeah.
And that is like, feels like a waste comparison to, actors who do come in. Now, this movie was really bad.
All right. Now let's go to a crab movie.
I have not reviewed it yet. And I will do an in-depth review where I go more in depth. But Stepfather, it's a second remake of The Stepfather.
Wait a minute. Are we talking about The Stepfather that starred
with Terry O'Quinn?
Terry O'Quinn, thank you.
Had the chilling line, "Who am I here?"
Right when he's looking in the mirror.
Yeah. No. That's a great callback too, because that's the poster. He's looking at it and it says, "Who am I here?"
Right. Okay.
And that's chilling enough. But when he's like confused and then he looks at his wife and he goes, "Who am I here?" Mm-hmm. And the look on her face is priceless because she's just like, "What?" There's so many implications on that in that moment. But then they remade it, I think in early 2000s with the dude from Nip Tuck. I think Dylan Walsh is it Dylan Walsh?
Oh yeah, Dylan Walsh. Yep.
And now they've remade it for 2026, Casey, and it stars Taye Diggs. I got no problem. I like Taye Diggs.
Wait, but Taye Diggs is good. Like I love Taye Diggs as an actor. He's a good actor.
This is more about the writing.
Probably honestly his best role because I loved him in Baby Boy. He committed the most. And Ving Rhames. Really,
that wasn't Taye Diggs. It was Tyrese.
Oh, that was Tyrese Gibson. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Taye Diggs I liked in Best Man.
Oh,
The Wood.
Duh. Okay. Yep.
Things like that.
I love The Wood.
Yep. He was always a fine actor. I've even met him. I met him when I worked out in Hollywood. I was working at Raleigh.
Oh, really?
Studios.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
We were waiting for our cars at the same time.
Oh, that's awesome.
He was super nice. Really,
I've heard no bad stories about Taye Diggs.
You're about to.
Okay, let's go.
Well, I'm not gonna put it on Taye Diggs. Taye Diggs is committed to this role, and he delivers one of the funniest lines. And it's just like, "You killed my dad." He's like, "Yes, I killed your dad." That's what he says to the kid, and it's just perfect line delivery. But the problem is, this thing is written insane, and the direction's off because everybody else acting in it isn't up to the same caliber that I almost said Terry. So, Taye Diggs is bringing to this role. He's bringing it's not great intensity because I feel like the direction's off on it, but it's you're working with what you got. I guess. And when you write a movie about a guy who goes from family to family, murdering all of them until he gets to the next one, and you're trying to get in depth into his psyche, and you're right, he was an abused kid and all this stuff, but you give no context clues to like you're just like, wow, he's a psychopath, and like there's a cop character in it. It looks like he's 12. And he's just mean as hell to everybody, even his higher ups. And his partner and anyone he talks to. He's just sarcastic and nasty to him. And I'm like, why has nobody put this 12-year-old in the back seat? Why is he still talking? I was like, he doesn't even look like. I was like, the woman who's playing his partner looks like a woman who's the right age, maybe in her 20s or 30s, to be a detective. Okay. He looks 12, and it looks like Gary Coleman, but not adult Gary Coleman. I'm gonna make fun of the man's height. He looks like Gary Coleman as a kid playing a detective with adults.
Well, that's absurd.
And I'm like, but and it's the way he carries himself. It's like, you seem very immature. So I'm like, is this a choice?
Yeah.
Like, is this a director's choice? But I do see that, because I see how everybody else is acting. It doesn't hold up to Taye Diggs, but Taye Diggs is desperately trying to do the best he can with this role.
Well, and I think of the only time I really think of someone who seemed like a too young cop was in The Wire, and Seth Gilliam in that first season. Seth Gilliam seemed like the much younger, unwise kind of cop, and I was like, I hope he grows up. And he did. He actually grew up throughout the season. So it's tough to give that, but I understand what you're saying. Like, you're expecting more out the gate, and especially in a movie versus a TV show. TV show, you have time to grow. In a movie, man, you got to be who you are immediately. So if you're coming out like some idiot, if the dog in Top Dog has a better chance at looking like a better detective than you, then I'm pretty sure we got problems.
It's fully the worst of the dog cop movies.
No, absolutely. I had to go to the Chuck Norris one. It is the worst. And like, I don't even remember the actress's name, but when I saw her, I was like, is that like Discount Store Rosie Perez? It was.
Is it? God, I don't even remember Top Dog. Like, I remember Top Dog, but I don't really remember Top Dog.
Yeah, that's fair.
They mix together, K9 and Turner and Hooch. Well, Turner and Hooch will always be, I think, the penultimate. K9 is my favorite, but Turner and Hooch is definitely the top. Yeah. Yeah, I think I like Turner and Hooch more. Out of all of them.
Well, it's
but it is sad as hell at the end when the dog dies. I've ruined a 40-year-old movie for you. I apologize.
Don't worry. If you decide to watch K9, the dog lives. It's Jim Belushi.
Through like 4 more sequels.
So you've got to decide between Jim Belushi and Tom Hanks. And I'm just saying, Jim Belushi goes hard on those Miami thugs.
That's true. That's very true. And Jim Belushi owns a pot farm, so I'm sure he's cool.
Might be. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he's just chilling on his farm doing his thing. No, honestly though, when I think about movies like this and stuff that I'm seeing more and more, I'm glad they're being made. Especially this is a Tubi movie, so I like the low production, low budget production movies that come out and stuff, and I think they're really helpful towards keeping filmmakers working.
Agreed.
So although it's like, just put out like, I think it's because it comes down to, what do you call it? I'm trying to put this the right way, and I'm trying not to sound like a snob, even though,
bro,
it's kind of our moniker. Yeah. Well, yeah, but I did it to make fun of stuff. And then I just started realizing over the years, as I listen to other movie creators, I'm like, wow, I do know more than you. Sorry. Because I believe in attention to detail, and I believe, and that means even when it comes to research and stuff.
Yep.
Do I know everything? No, absolutely not, because I watched a man who knows fucking everything's movie this weekend, and I think that's where I get jaded. When you watch something like The Odyssey, and knowing Denis Villeneuve is great too, and like these are all types of filmmakers that they tie off every knot, so you're not, nothing's open. It's all comes back around or plays into it, and there's nothing misused, and there's nothing that's going to hit you out of nowhere, and that's perfect writing. It may not be the perfect story, but it's perfect writing. Like, you put together a story and it ties together. It ties everything together, nothing unused or useless. And then I watched like The Stepfather, and I'm like, I know this isn't your first movie. The director, in my mind, like, you need to pull it together. Just because it's low budget doesn't mean you get away with things.
Right.
Make your script good. Like, at one point, the entire time we're in the Stepfather movie, we're intersecting between him and the family, and kind of him, like, you could tell he's kind of losing it a little.
Okay.
And then they'll flash back to when he was a kid and his father was abusive and beat him and stuff, and like, really went after him, and like his life like that. And you're like, okay, I kind of get where this is coming from, like where this trauma is. And then out of nowhere, like 2/3 of the way movie, he's in a hotel room and he's talking to 2 other versions of himself. Now, they brought up in no way that he has multiple personalities.
Oh, that's kind of odd.
And then they just like kind of throw it out there, but they don't really elaborate on it. They just like tell you, and then like he just keeps showing up at different times talking to himself. And I'm like, this is so mismatched. Like, you didn't even try. This was a cop out.
Yeah.
When you were writing, you were like, you know what? Maybe he talks to different versions of himself. But instead of going back and changing the script to match that, you just were like, yeah, no, this is the next obvious choice. So like when I watch like something like The Odyssey, and I see everything perfectly woven and put together, and the technical aspects and the care that he put into his movie, yeah, he may have $250 million and you may have $250,000. But if you're not putting in the same level of care into your story, into your directing, into how you are going to put this out there. I'm not saying that the actors have to all be tip top. I'm not saying all that stuff, but this is your shot. And I feel like directors like that are more about the glory of it. Not saying there wasn't a dream in theirs and things like that. I'm not trying to put anybody's like, feelings down, but I've also met a lot of directors where it's like, this isn't your dream. This is, you're enjoying this, but you also really, you think that you're good because you have celebrities.
Right.
But you've got names that were in other horror movies or other movies that have faltered out and now they want to come back. And I have no problem with keeping actors working. I always applauded Rob Zombie and what's his name, Quentin Tarantino and others that did that and brought back, actors from maybe exploitation films and such. And that's okay for me. I don't mind that, but you need to bring it. And if they're lazy and they're not saying, hey, this script makes no sense, we need to work on this.
Yeah.
Maybe they're young or maybe they haven't been in much and they don't want to ruffle the feathers, but Taye Diggs, where are you?
Right.
You're selling this. You're the name that's selling this movie. Have you read the script and not seen that as bullshit? Now, you could have probably had this fixed and worked on it, but that's the thing when you see a filmmaker auteur like a Nolan or somebody, and you hear all these actors who talk about him like, I want to work on everything this man does because he's making me better.
Right. And see, and that's the biggest thing. I think that's a great point right there. So the reason we love the movies we love, and I'm going to speak for both of us, and please correct me as necessary, but the things that I've noticed that we love are the things that they care about cinematography. So when they get the point across, because visually the movie is the medium. So we want to see something magnificent and beautiful and give us scope. I think Denis Villeneuve is one of the best at that right now. I think he does that. He and Nolan, I got to give it to Nolan too. They both really give scope and they speak through the camera. That is important. That's number one. Number two, we need characters we give a crap about. We need to have something we can relate to. Now, part of that is acting. It's imperative that the actor is able to get across the words on the page the way it needs to be done. It's not always done perfect, but sometimes there are enough getaways where, it's done. It's good. We accept it. But if it's not a character that we don't love, or if you lazily in the writing decide to introduce something later that you could have easily done and foreshadowed at some point, you could have had him have a conversation walking out of the bathroom. You could have had something just a little off. And when we see that as intelligent people, I think that the director, the producer, or someone in the studio just blames us for being stupid and that we'll just glaze over it. That movie's already down 2 points for me, like almost immediately. If we are treated dumb as the audience, when you're the one responsible for telling us a story, then you're the problem. And
that's a better way to put it. I appreciate you saying that, because I like bullshit all the time. I like all the, low budget doesn't bother me. Even if it looks shitty, but you're telling a good story, I'm in. But you're right. It's the laziness. Like if you could have made it better and it's very evident that you just didn't. Yeah. Like you didn't try or whatever. You got the money and you were like, hey, let's do the job. Which lots of filmmakers are like that. They really are.
Yep.
And it's sad, but at the same time,
that's also the machine, man. Like you got to look at that that's the machine. Sometimes a director might put something beautiful on film. They may be super happy about it. The cinematographer might be jazzed. The script soup might be like, hey, we stuck to this perfectly and we got everything we needed shot wide. But then when it gets into editing and there's some weird producer in there who goes, yeah, but we don't want this message coming across. Well, that takes away something from the story itself. Yeah. Look, all we are is big dumb monkeys who want to sit around a campfire and be told pretty stories. We just have really cool campfires, man. Like we're talking in our campfire right now. Yeah. And we love these stories and we want great stories. That's all we want. We just want to be entertained in a really interesting and fun way that makes us think and maybe give us a new perspective, perhaps grow, gain some knowledge. So when we invest hours of our lives into something that's like, wait a minute, at the end of this, I don't feel better about anything. I feel like I want to be negative now and trash something. I feel aggressive towards this because I feel like I've wasted my time. They insulted me after watching. It kind of changes the perspective. So a movie like that sounds
1,000% did, because I watched it because I like Taye Diggs. Yep. And I like the Stepfather movies, even like the remake that they did with Dylan Walsh. I didn't love it, but like they stayed in the same wheelhouse, like of what it was.
The same vein. Yeah. And I can go with that because at least it probably costs the same amount. Adjust it for inflation.
It's like if you're going to take over a horror movie property, right, and remake it or something, either make me see something maybe not different, but something new in it.
Yeah, refresh it for me. Yeah.
Or don't touch it, because if it's going to be the same thing, what do I care? I'll watch the original. It's like the Moana argument right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that bomb.
That's actually a great one with the Moana argument, because I stand in a very interesting position. How do you feel about that one, Mick?
I think it's stupid. I understand why they did it. The Rock wanted to be Maui in the live action, and he's aging out.
Mm-hmm.
I also think it was a cash grab because Moana was so huge, and I think they thought if they could get back into it, they'd get it done.
Right.
I think there were a lot of aspects to this that were problematic, not in a societal way.
Right. No, just in a filmmaking kind of way, in a movie kind of
causes
theater,
issues.
Studio way. Sorry.
Exactly. Yeah. Disney's too much to rush.
Mm-hmm.
We were supposed to get a Tiana TV show from Princess and the Frog.
Princess and the Frog, man. Love that one. That's one of my favorites. I want that.
They canceled it, and it sucks. Why did you cancel
it? That's trash. That's a great one.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter committed to that. That's one of those. I think it comes down to characters for me. And Tiana was one of the best princesses because she was a hardworking princess who was like, no, I'm going to strive for the thing I want.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and her striving for the thing was not the guy. That's the other thing I loved about it. It's one of the few Disney princesses, Moana is included in this, who was like, I'm not here for another person. I'm here for my own self-growth because this is what I love and it's what I want to do. And I love that. He's
the only prince that had to try and win her over. Everybody else just kind of chased him down or loved him
you're
already.
Completely right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's 100% correct. He had to become better. There's a whole song about it. He had to become better, dig a little deeper.
She understood her worth. All of the other Disney princesses didn't. Maybe Pocahontas, but that whole movie is just problematic as it is compared to real life.
I mean, there's a lot of issues there from the beginning. The only thing that comes out of Moana or out of Pocahontas as completely free and clear is absolutely the Vanessa Williams song. It's the only thing. Everything else is problematic in that movie.
Oh my God. I was like, it's funny. I was watching, I told you I was watching all the Odysseys. I'm not getting back into the Odyssey, but
no.
I was watching all the Odysseys, and I was watching the miniseries we were talking about with Armando Asante.
Oh, I love Armando Asante, man.
I forgot she was Calypso in that.
Who?
Vanessa Williams plays Calypso.
No way.
Yeah, it was a pleasant surprise because I haven't seen it since it came out in '97.
Right.
It's so weird to be on TikTok, and it makes me feel so old when people are like, "Yeah, they used to show us that in class." I was like, I just saw it live.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't see that in class. That was 100% something that I was in 8th grade, and I sat down and was like, "Oh, the Odyssey." And I always love the Iliad. So of the two, for me growing up, I was an Iliad kid. So I've always been Troy all the way, which is probably the reason. And we discussed this on our last episode over 3 weeks ago. Apologies for that. We have missed you all. It's wonderful to see everyone. But that was one of those moments for me where it's like, I remember going to see Troy, and I was like, oh no, what's this going to be? Because Troy was, although it's an enjoyable movie, as someone who loves it from the historical perspective, it's a bit of a letdown.
Well, let me ask you this, because you do love it from the historical side of things. Mm-hmm. What is it? Now, I know how different it is. So many people die later than they actually do.
Oh, yeah.
They change it to like 3-week war versus the fact that it was a 10-year war.
10 years. Yeah. I mean, it took a while to go. Ajax's death, that was the only one in the landing that made an impact. And even that they made, I don't know, not as impactful. I was kind of bummed. I'm like, in Troy, I'm like, bro, Ajax was the guy. It was,
and they didn't even have Ajax Minor in it. They just had Ajax Major.
Right. Exactly. Bingo.
Did I tell you what happened? I know we haven't talked. Well, we talk off the air, but we haven't talked on the air in a few weeks. And I think I was saving this to tell you, so I don't know if I told you off the air. It was, I told you I was going to watch every adaptation in the movies.
And
right?
You did. When you sent me that text yesterday, I was like, oh, you poor man. Because
I
know there's
and
some
Odyssey. All of them.
Oh, you did both?
All of them. For the past 2 months. I did them all leading up. One, I'm going to tell you, watch the 1954 movie Ulysses, which is Odysseus in Latin for anybody watching or listening to know. So a lot of times when they were made, it was an Italian film. It's in Italian. You got to watch it with subtitles. Kirk Douglas stars as Ulysses Odysseus.
Okay.
And it's one of the most unhinged performances in a beautiful way. Because it's more from the perspective of Penelope.
Well, and that was one of the things that I really dug about. I have seen that movie. Can I recall it entirely? Absolutely not. What I can recall are 2 scenes. Number one, the scene where he confronts Penelope. I remember that one. which was amazing. When he still isn't known as Ulysses, he hasn't unveiled himself. It was when he was the beggar, speaking to Penelope. And then it's the other scene where he does reveal himself. And all of a sudden, it was really weird too, because they decided to everyone was shooting arrows at that point. I don't know if you remember that part of the movie, but it's like, why did everyone shoot arrows? The arrows don't even happen until before and after. Like they said, why are you shooting arrows now while he's having his speech? It was
They
weird.
locked everything away.
It was very weird, but I agree that. So when I go back mentally, I don't think about Spartacus with Kirk Douglas. I think about that movie when the barrel chested walking his way up as people are just getting shot around him.
I do. If you like the Iliad more, though, I have 2 recommendations I'd like for you to check out.
Okay. Yeah.
One is the 1952 movie Helen of Troy. And
okay, this is one I've been told to watch before, and I still have not, so I will.
I didn't love it. It was scope wise for the 50s. It was fantastic. I mean, it was monumental. I loved that aspect of it. And I love the artwork that went into it. And it was enjoyable to watch, but it desperately changes the story of Paris and Helen. And it puts Paris in the forefront, almost like he's Hector. But there is a Hector character, but he's very like kind of in the shadows because they're focusing on Helen and Paris here. I didn't love that angle. Yeah. How the little things they changed here and there and put him in the focus. But the next one is The Fury of Achilles, which is another Italian film.
That was one you talked to me about. Yes, you did. You mentioned that one.
I really enjoyed
watch
that
this one. I was like, okay.
It's pretty close to the Iliad faithful wise. It doesn't go into the gods too much, but they do appear.
See, that was one of the most important things because the reason I love the Iliad and the Odyssey is because of the god. So I'm a huge Greek mythology guy. I've always loved Greek mythology. I love Roman mythology. I love how they play together. You know, Hercules and Xena were obviously some of our favorites growing up, which always tied into that. Yeah. And that's kind of what hurt me about Troy. That's what hurt me about some of these renditions is they try to be like, well, we're going to take it from this historical perspective. But I think that's what's lost. So my whole spiel is the fact that Homer wrote this 1,000 years after these stories had already been oral tradition. It had been passed down and passed down and passed down. So when Homer wrote this as a play, no less, when he wrote this to be a cautionary tale, a tale to honor the gods, and a tale to teach more of human compassion. And that's the overall purpose of everything he wrote. But it was also a history. It's a learned history combined with their religion. And that was just the way they told stories in those days. Yeah. And it's a beautiful, beautiful marker in anthropology, just of how we grew and how humans began to tell stories on greater scope and how we began to understand things. It was our versions of fireworks. You know, nowadays we can go blow stuff up. Back then, you sit around a bigger fire and tell a bigger story.
Yeah, I'd rather that.
What?
I'd rather that over fireworks.
Yeah.
Can we go back to that style of society?
Yeah.
I would love to. My favorite parts of film school were sitting on our back porch with like 15, 20 guys, and we're all just talking about film.
That's the best
Stone
part,
stories and stuff. So it's one of those things where like that is something that is so important. I agree with you, and I do disagree with one extent. These are in fact verified truth. It was after the fall of Troy that the gods were like, "Peace out, take care of yourselves.
We're done. We don't want to mess with this anymore. You guys got this. You look like idiots anyway. We're out."
Yeah. No, it's I mean, it's really interesting how they do it and they play into it, and you know, learning the history of it, and the more I go on, and I've always been like, I liked Greek mythology growing up. I was really big on that, but I didn't read the Iliad or Troy until after, or Iliad or Troy, the Iliad or the Odyssey until after Troy. Once I watched that, I was in my 20s when I watched it. Now, I'd seen the Odyssey in 97, but I went to Catholic school. Nobody was really telling me about like, hey, did you know that that's based on a poem about a real war? And like,
that's fair.
So,
yeah.
But I had this like, once I start getting into, and it's funny you mention that because we're talking about like when you're 18, you're kind of a stupid kid, and you are. I feel like you believe anything until a certain point. I feel like you believe anything until you've met enough people.
100%.
And then you're like, all right. I'm a little more bargained for on this. It's so like I didn't know the stories as fables. It was, to me, it was almost like, you know, oh, it's not really history, it's just stories, because like when you watch the miniseries, you're like, there's no way this shit's real, you know. It's not possible. So like you watch that, so like when I read the poems, I was like, these are really hard to read.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, they are hard to read, but once you
They
read them, but you got to read them almost like singing them, because that's what they're meant.
Exactly.
And I've learned that over time. And the fact that I watched that animated Iliad that I told you about.
You said that was nightmare fuel. I believe
It's nightmare fuel, but everybody should watch it. Everybody should. You know why I respect it? You want to know why I respect it? Because same thing we were talking about with The Stepfather. The filmmakers put their whole into it. It's not great. It's nightmare fuel. The animation looks terrible. The music is weird. They do for every book, they do different types of music that match the setting of the story. Weird, but not bad. Because like when Agamemnon, the book, I think it's book 9 or 10, I can't remember, but when Agamemnon and Achilles first get together to kind of meet before even Achilles walks away, it's just sort of a stalemate at that moment. It's like a hard rock ballad.
Oh.
And it's building on tension. And I'm like, I feel like if you were, not to put anybody down, if you were better musicians or you had more musicians to kind of play off of, because there's only 2 people who made this. So again, I respect what they put into it. If you had almost like maybe a sound supervisor or a music supervisor to come in and help you kind of like put things together. Yeah. But other than that, like as you're going to learn about the Iliad, it's the full story.
Which is awesome.
Which they sing it and you read it.
That's so cool, man.
As they act it out. So like you are learning all of it. And I was really appreciative to find that, because it's the only one out of all of them. I mean, the 97 miniseries is very close. It's not exact. They cut some things and it goes different places. And
it is. Honestly, the 97 series is one I do give credit for. It's probably about 80%.
Yeah, I would say that. But like this one does incorporate the gods and tells you the stories, because they go through every book. So they show the gods like kind of, but again, it's I don't want you to think you're seeing Chris Nolan. You're seeing some animation here. It's not Toy Story. Okay. This is this animation is
we
tough.
Should expect more like, Sinbad and the Adventures of the 30s.
I think you're overselling it personally.
No Jason and the Argonauts here. We're not quite
definitely not a Harryhausen production. I would put this more in line with like if VeggieTales was made by somebody who had no idea what they're doing.
Oh, okay, valid. I got that. Yep.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of a little stale, but but again, like it was 2 filmmakers who made a movie. I respect it.
Sure.
And I can do that. And it is the most faithful, because it's literally the books.
Yeah.
And they cover everything. You see, I think it's like 24, 25 books. So, I forget exactly how many, but and they cover all of them. So that might be worth it, especially considering you like it as much as you do. But me getting into it, like I read them in, it's got to be 2004, 2005 or something. It was before I went to college for film school, after Troy. And
Troy was
really haven't done anything with them since. This is like the first time.
I mean, honestly, Troy was also one of those kind of where it wasn't a flop, but it wasn't a hit. So it just kind of failed everywhere. Yeah. It didn't do enough.
I watched it twice in 2 months, though. I'm watching it again because I'm going to see the movie again. And I'm showing Tommy and Mary because I'm bringing them each once at a time so I can see it 3 times.
And that's huge, bro. That's massive.
Yeah. This is last year, Sinners. I saw it like 7 times. Yeah, I've seen it more this year, with it a few times. But and then this year, I want to watch. Like He-Man was fun. I'll watch that a lot.
Yeah.
But the Odyssey, man, I want to watch that over and over again. It's just I can't. I'm underselling it too.
Well, I think there's that point where a certain movie captures a certain story, and all it does is progress the story. You're not meant to improve the story. You're meant to relate the story to us. Can you relate the story to me today? If you can take a story that's almost 5,000 years old, if not maybe 6,000, if we go through the oral tradition,
It was 3200
BC is when he wrote it. So that means roughly 4,000 BC is when that sucker was actually like maybe the oral tradition began.
No, 3,200. No, and the only reason I know this, I'm not trying to be correcting.
No, please.
It's because I've been watching a lot of history on it too.
Yeah.
To kind of learn about this going in, like what the real history was, because they really found Sparta.
Oh yeah, they found Troy.
What is Sparta? Troy. They really found Troy, and they found in the 6th or 7th layer that there was a big fire there, and they found wood that wasn't really supposed to be there. So like that's why like some certain things it was interesting. But to your point, it was 3,200 BC is when they think this takes place. Okay, and then he wrote it. So the Greek Dark Ages were 400 years.
Yes,
I think he wrote it in 800 BC.
I think is I feel like 2800 is when the rise of Athens
maybe
began,
28.
which would have been the death of Crete. Because once Athens and Spartan
That's you,
and
man. Like I watched
Carthage, well, once everyone else came up, Crete had died because Agamemnon was the great Crete god, so our great Crete king. So once the island of Crete, that was the great kingdom. Once that fell, and I always think 2800. I could be totally wrong on that, but I do know that Athens and Sparta, Syracuse, Carthage, they all rose in that time, the post-Troy time, because Troy was the ultimate. And then having this great Greek fleet is what essentially, when they came back, they'd been split up. And the Odyssey shows that from, hey, these are all the dudes from wherever he's from. I always want to say it's Syracuse, but that's not right. Wherever Odysseus was from. You should know that now. Where?
I don't know why my thing's going down.
Oh, Ithaca. Yes, you're right. Yes, Ithaca. So Ithaca was one of the great powers. Then it fell because I believe Syracuse took over for Ithaca. But there's all these different kind of positions and all these different things that happen throughout the history. So you can map it as it go, and it's very neat to do that.
Well, it's just that 400 years from that time,
right?
From where they talk about it is because that was the Greek Dark Ages, and nothing was being written down or taken down.
Nothing.
And I've they've talked about that it was attributed to climate change and like earthquakes possible and things like that really caused some destruction.
A volcano that screwed up part of one of the islands that like jacked them up too. Like it was wild to actually see just nature destroying people because agriculture was the king. If you couldn't eat, it didn't matter. So,
not to mention when you killed Troy, you angered the gods and they left you. That's what I'm sticking
well, of course. They were
That's
out,
why the gods
man.
aren't here anymore.
That was kind of that fun explanation of what happened to the gods, or like why some of the gods got lazy, which is part of the reason we get Dionysus going to the island of Lesbos and just being like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to party here. Like it's kind of funny. Or Thebes. Thebes becomes an island of screw it. We're just going to party here because the gods had left them. In their minds, after Troy, the gods had left them. That's the story they've been told. Yet somehow it still perpetuates through Athens. It still perpetuates through Sparta. It still perpetuates through Syracuse and Carthage and all these great powers. So yeah, it's fascinating. Great way to tie it all in together. And that's why I love these great stories. I recently just watched Pressure.
Oh yeah, I did too.
So this is going to seem like an odd segue, but I think it's perfect.
Don't review it, because if you
no,
I would love to sit down and talk to you about it and maybe review it.
Absolutely. I just want to use for the sake of the story. We're telling a story of World War II. Well, since we've been telling the World War II stories for the last 100 years now, well, almost 100 years. We got a little ways to go. Another 20 before it's 100. But 80 years. We have 80 years of telling this story. Imagine how deep and full the stories were from Troy, from the Odyssey, from all of that time.
Yep.
We're still pulling from that. And I think that's one of the great things that our fire, that's what we're discussing on right now, our fire that we get to speak around, this is what we want. And we want good storytelling. So I'm super excited to hear at the end of this rant that the Odyssey has come full circle and that we have a really good story to be told. And it's interesting, Mick, it's kind of odd that story led to something like Athens, which led to one of the greatest political societies that we know and governments in democracy. So it's kind of interesting that there are all of these things. We got to see that fascism, we got to see the theism, we got to see the actual theocracy and the monarchy all fall between Troy and then the Iliad and the Odyssey. We see the story of the rebuilding, the churn, the new that comes out of it. And it's just interesting how many different governmental ideals we have and different governments come out of that.
And we're going to talk about government ideas. Do you have your notes on you? Or do you have your notes?
Absolutely, I do.
All right. No, we're having fun. Come on. I haven't talked to you in a while. See,
you were off for 2 weeks,
and I need to have this conversation.
I was just trying to have a fun segue.
You got to get that fun conversation going.
Trying to have a fun segue. Try to fun segue.
Real quick for that segue, we'll do the top 5, then we'll get into the governances. But I do want to say this. He did not do a good story. He improved the Odyssey.
I don't think you can.
I can't wait for you to see this movie.
The fact that you said that makes now I have to go see it tonight. Now because now I have to fight you on this, because I feel like the classic, to improve on that story, it's one of the greatest stories. That's like, okay, you can improve on Electra, just don't have her bang her dad. You can improve on what's the thing when you want to bang your mom?
Oh, Oedipus.
Complex. Yeah, we get rid of our Oedipus complex. Let's take Oedipus and Electra, get them out of here.
Wait. I want to bang my mom or your mom, because that's different.
Well, no, we want to bang each other's moms, but that's a story we're never going to tell anyone. Oh my God.
I still challenge you. I think it improves the story of the Odyssey.
Look, I am open to see that. Like, I am excited to see that. Like, especially coming from you, because that is not a light statement. So,
No.
If Armand Asante couldn't improve on it, then
well, you know what it is. It's the storytelling aspect. They focused on telling the story as it was.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Nolan took the story and he didn't shirk godly behavior.
Okay.
Or gods. Like, they're there. They may
Right.
not be prevalent right out on the open, but they make sense when you look at them and you're like, wow, okay, I get this now. I understand.
Okay. All right.
And it makes it feel like it could have happened that way.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that is very intriguing. Like, that's
Right?
even more so. I need to go see this right now.
Oh my God, it's so fantastic and amazing. We'll finish quick. All right, let's get to take it away, Case.
Top 5 countdown movies we want America to be like.
Originally, this was going to be very patriotic themes because we were going to.
It was,
but we didn't really get to talk the past 2 weeks, so it's like outside of like quick stuff. So it's like I had too much to say. But I am excited for this list.
Okay,
my list. Who wants to go first? Me or you? I don't give a shit.
I'll go ahead and kick off. Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, because I still have to find mine.
So I have a very interesting one here to start off with. My number 5 is actually Equilibrium.
Wow.
Now, follow me on this. This takes a moment, and I apologize for this being my number 5. Everything else is pretty straightforward. But number 5 here, the reason I want Equilibrium to be what it is because it is the flashpoint of rebellion. It is the point where people have had enough of being told what to think, enough of the thought police, enough of the legitimate art is a problem. We have to bring people down and make them think less and feel less. And that way we take away their artistic, limbistic part of their brain. And societally, we turn against it. And Equilibrium is the moment where human beings say we've had enough. This is trash. We don't believe this. We don't want to believe this. And I think America is at a point where we really need to be there. And I hope in my heart that we are there because we need to be done with this trash. We need to grow and be better. So that's why Equilibrium is my number 5.
I like it. I think I went a very different route.
Let's go, baby.
No, my number 5 is 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh my gosh. Okay, why?
I realize it's very corporatized, and you don't see much of what's going on Earth, but at least we are more so than like just talk. It feels like they built the space program and really built it out and took the time. And we saw in real life, and we were both around in 2001. You graduated high school. I just graduated high school myself the year before.
Yep.
It wasn't like that. We didn't care about exploration in space and things like that. So the idea behind that and having an America that really still pushed towards it, I feel like is a hopeful America or a world in general, however you do it. But I'm basing this on government politics of America right now. Y'all spoke English, so I assume.
No, I mean, yeah, obviously.
So that's my number 5. Like it's just more hopeful into the space exploration stuff.
I agree, and that's a great choice. I love that 5. That's awesome. A hopeful America is a good America.
That's true.
You know what's less hopeful than that is my number 4, Mad Max.
Wait, you want America to be like Mad Max?
If everyone talks a big game, I would love to see who can put up or shut up. And the only place to truly put up or shut up, the way these morons are discussing fighting, discussing shooting people, discussing, well, drag them into the street or kick them out of our country. I've had enough of it. If you really want to play that game, let's go to the apocalypse and let's play for real, baby. So I want my America to be the place where you people have to be honest and real about what you really want. Do you really want to lose your air conditioning? Do you really want to have to fight for gasoline? I don't think you do. So put your money where your mouth is. Number 4, Mad Max.
Go talk to your parents too, who lived in the 70s.
Yeah.
This isn't new. That's the problem. None of this is new. It keeps recurring and we keep getting screwed. The only thing that's new are the prices. They keep going up.
So true.
So it's just like, no, but I don't want to live in a Mad Max world, but I see your point. I feel like
buddy, that's where I'm going.
Mine is maybe more hopeful. Number 4 for me is Bill and Ted's Future Existence.
Okay.
In like 2600 or whatever it was.
Yep.
It just looks cool. It looks like it's peaceful. It looks like it's utopia. It looks like people have their stuff together. And it looks like, most of all, which makes me appreciate it the most, is that they are big not just on sciences and maths and things and history, but art. Yep. Because the Wild Stallions made them realize art is just as important. And I love that aspect. So that is my number 4.
I love that one. My number 3 is a very weird one. All right. This is probably the most indie that I've ever gone when we've had one of these for my number 3. My number 3, so it was released in 2010. It was shot in 2009. There was this beautiful bubble of perfect hope that we lived in. And you remember this because we were in our 20s going into our 30s. We were growing into this happy, joyful world. The kids are all right.
Okay.
I love that time frame because there was still this connection over the dinner table. There was still this hope in our future politics that people were understanding and moving forward. It seemed like no matter what, we were moving forward. I know. So The Kids Are All Right. The reason I chose that movie specifically is because they do use certain news clips that are actually incredibly topical now, that actually fit very well and are way more hopeful and positive as opposed to the spin that has been put on them almost 20 years later, over 15 years later. So The Kids Are All Right for me is kind of that realm that I wish we could understand and get back to, of being willing to have the conversations, being willing to be open about the tough talks, and just being willing to say, hey, maybe I don't agree with you. And that's okay too. And there was something special about that. And that's lost now because now we just fight and yell at each other and call each other idiots. So
you just want to be the father of the children of lesbians. Come on.
Yes. Are you kidding? Absolutely. That would be fucking dream, buddy. Dude, I would love that, where I just have to be a dad and not a partner because I'm a terrible partner and I know that.
Oh,
so I should be a good dad. Is that something I can do?
We should do a top 5 R types in movies.
Oh, I'm done. Yes, let's do it.
I'll do that at one point. Okay, cool choice. I like your reasoning for it. I remember the movie, but I don't remember it well. I think I saw it once a while ago, so I get what you're saying, but I like what I know what you mean, and I like that idea for sure. Officially, Dan G says, I hope we don't turn into Elysium. Me either, or Judgment Day. Me either.
Oh, definitely not Judgment Day, bro. I'm with you. Let's avoid that at all costs.
Oh God, please. All right, my number 3. Are we on 3? Yeah, we're on 3. Right?
Yeah, we're on 3, brother.
Yeah. Tomorrowland, but like the working Tomorrowland, like the one you get in the beginning. I want that. I want science as an achievement. But also what I liked about the end with the hopeful ending of that is like, it wasn't just scientists, which is what they were pushing towards the end of Tomorrowland when they took over. Is like, they're like, no, go out there. There's artists out there. This is like, we need the people who are going to have the passion to build this out. And I think the fact I feel academics are so important. You don't have to be a historian, but you should know history. You don't have to be a mathematician, but you should know your math. You don't have to know calculus, but you should know general math, algebra. Geometry is important too. Like, we use that a lot. I use geometry more than I think I use actual algebra. Exactly. So, and I'm not a scholar by any means. I'm terrible at math, but you got to have a working knowledge. Science, especially, you got to have understanding of different sciences and what's going on. Understand what you're putting in your body, how to take care of yourself, things like that. That's so important, but also the art going into it, because I feel like we've seen for so many years them tearing apart art programs and such. That's the future I want, man. I want a future where we're really taking care of people.
That's really beautiful, man. I really like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I want that a lot too. Which leads me to my number 2.
Yeah.
It's going to blow your mind, and no one will understand this. I want Starship Troopers.
Mad Max, Starship. Like, you're just an anarchist.
Yes.
You want to
100%.
punish people. It's not the people's fault that things went bad.
No. The people are dumb and cheap, and we need to have stronger systems. So Starship Troopers is the strongest system that I can see coming in. Now, the reason for this is because it goes all the way back to Octavius in Rome, in the way that they wanted to lead. And I don't always agree with having one great body that decides everything. However, for an entire planet to be under one banner and to be able to answer, act, and work together. Now, does it make it easier to lie to us, as Starship Troopers displays? Yes. Does it make us more susceptible to being told, hey, we have to go kill these other things because they're the problem, they're the reason we messed up? Absolutely. Does that mean that we are more likely to have bad things happen to us? Sure. At the same token, can we also have a fantastic life and, work towards showing that service and actually doing something beyond yourself is actually something better, then yes, we should be committing to something more than ourselves. And I think that's something we've lost. So what I take from the Starship Troopers government is committing to something greater than yourself. So that way you're not as selfish. And then let's say in your 30s, because you've committed to service, then in your 30s and 40s, you get to live. You get to live the life you want to live. You get to grow. You get to have families. You get to build something. That's exciting. Now, is it very restrictive and is it very not the freedoms we're used to? Absolutely. It's very difficult to put our minds there. However, the benefits kind of outweigh it. Just saying.
I agree with Dan G. I think you just want to shoot aliens.
Well, I mean, of course I want to just shoot aliens. Ever since I've been doing this show, all I've ever wanted to do is shoot aliens. If
the outer space kind.
Yeah, of course.
Listen,
yeah, the ones with
it's
big
a wonky
heads
world
with like
right
crazy
now.
eyes and like no noses. Yeah, those guys. I don't want to shoot. Like, no, we're not aliens. I want to be friends with them. Everyone on this planet is. We're not. We're all human beings, man. We're all just trying to survive and do the same thing and deal with the same crap in different climates. That's it. So
just half of you stop believing bullshit,
right?
Just like take 10 seconds before you hit a voting booth or you decide like, hey, transgender are ruining the world. Take 10 seconds. Stop. Take a breath. Think. Be like, hey, you know what? My pastor's a human being. That orange mongrel's a human being. They could be wrong.
Yep.
You know, I'm gonna fill you in on something. There's no smart rich people.
Nope.
There's not. They might be more clever. They might have a working knowledge of certain things. There's not one, and they definitely have a working knowledge on how to bend and break business so they can keep their money.
Yep.
That's not smart. Nope. That's gaming the system. There are no smart millionaires, billionaires. Talk to an actor for 10 seconds.
You know who's really
a rich
smart?
Actor for 10 seconds. They're so out of touch. You got nothing.
A smart person is the person who designed all 16 pieces that go into this one little device that we use for everything. And then the other smarter person is the one who was able to put those pieces together. And then another person was able to figure out how to connect this so we can use it to connect to each other throughout the world. Those are smart people. You know, those people are not the billionaires behind the product. And that's the problem.
They're children.
People don't. Oh my gosh!
Not laughing.
I didn't mean the
child
manufacturing,
labor, but it's like it really is. You're so right. You got to build a phone, and it's like children are doing that.
Yeah.
Children, like I can't stitch together sneakers.
Nope.
So does that make me dumb compared to the children who can? Yeah.
Yep. Everyone in Indonesia, you're dumb because you can't do that job.
Wait, I thought where did they do it then?
What do you mean?
Is it in Indonesia? No, the Indonesians would be smart then.
Well, I'm saying you by comparison.
Oh, I got you. All right, I'm on board now.
Sorry if I misspoke. I apologize. Yeah,
no, you're good. You're good. So let's get back on topic, though. You're right, though. All right. Did you say your number 2? Because I said tomorrow.
That was my number 2. Yeah, Starship Troopers number 2.
Starship Troopers. It's funny you say Starship Troopers for your number 2 because Star Trek Into Darkness is my number 2.
Oh, I love that.
Because I feel like you got the best look at what society was like outside of maybe the third one but I'm talking about earthly society.
Yeah, Earth. No, yeah.
So Star Trek Into Darkness, like as much as there were issues in Starfleet and there, it's not peace, like you went out in space, you're going to have your issues. That felt like a world that's worth living in.
Yes.
So that's why it's my number 2.
I 100% agree. That is fantastic. What a good number 2, buddy.
Thank you. And I bookended it for number 1. So just
excellent. So here's my number 1. Number 1, I am actually at Star Trek number 6.
Ooh, I like that one too. That was a close contender.
The reason I love number 6 is because we got to see more of the political side of the grouping. We got to see what happens when one of our great enemies in the Klingons are trying to join up with us, and the fact that even Vulcans, the ones who are supposed to use more logic, are still not comfortable with that. Yet Earth is the one pushing hard to be like, no. We let people in. If we can all agree that freedom is what matters, and we're not looking to conquer, destroy, hurt, maim, kill, just to be the overbearing power. If we're willing to keep them open and have a council and have discussion and work towards a common goal of exploration and bettering ourselves in society, that's what we want. And that's something they drive home in Star Trek 6, which is why I bring that one up. Obviously,
it's a good one.
Any Star Trek film is the world I want to live in.
Well, it depends though, because not really. It's only 2 generations of it, but
I mean,
you have to figure out which one you want to live in, because naturally it's going to be next gen world because it has evolved even more.
Correct.
in the right direction. So
yeah,
interesting. I really like that.
Yeah,
That's
because for me, it was just that matter of let's have the discussions. Let's have the hard discussions. I mean, obviously there's factions on both sides that are going to disagree and not want to get to that point. But the amount of effort you have to put into that point, I think that's where we fail. And that's why we need to be better. And that's why Star Trek 6 for me is the prime example of how to be the best versions of ourselves in the most difficult of situations.
I'm so glad you said that, because my number one bookends my number 5. Now, if you remember, number 5 was 2001 because of the space exploration. You saw the theme with Bill and Ted. Like, I wasn't talking so much about the time travel aspect, but in the world in the future, it is the same as Tomorrowland, the same as Star Trek Into Darkness, same as my number 1. They're all worlds, Earths, Americas, however you want to put it, where it's naturally accustomed that everyone who lives there is going to be much smarter because they have to be. You have to have a working knowledge of how starships work. You don't have to be a pilot, but if you're transported on one, like, I mean, and I realize this isn't the same, like, because I'm correlating. I can't fly a plane.
Yes.
But I have a working knowledge of how planes work.
Agreed. Yes. No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
So, like, in those worlds, it almost demands that you have to have working knowledge of certain things to be able to even live in this society.
Yep.
You can be a bartender at a bar, but you got to know how things work. Like, there's certain aspects that go into it. And there's nothing wrong with that, but not saying bartenders are smart. They usually put together concoctions that, you know, are pretty elaborate. I've only met one terrible bartender in my life. And I kid.
Yeah, no, I know him. He's actually on this show right now, but we won't tell anyone.
No, not you. Stop it. No, I mean,
I do.
Oh, and now he wants to be a bartender. Like, what are you talking about?
That's not a good direction to go, bro.
No, I'm trying to put, like, I showed it to him, like, hey, go on an adventure. You're not going to find any treasure. They're all gone. But go on an adventure. See the world. See something new. And he's like, yeah, bartender looks cool. I'm like, I mean, it is, but and you can do it. I got no problem with being. In fact, it's a good skill to have if you want to travel around.
Absolutely.
That, you know, bouncing was always good to me because wherever I went, like, I can get a job bouncing. You know, not a problem. You know, so, like, but anyway, going back to it, I'm going off on a tangent on our top 5, but this number 1 is another one of those that demands that, and it's an Earth I'd really like to see, and it's actually closer to our time frame. The Martian.
Oh, bro, what a good one.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you have to assume if we're and not Elon Musk Mars, like, actually NASA is handling this, and real smart people, rocket scientists, things like that, who are really contributing and saying, we want to go to Mars because it advances our human population, not strokes the ego of a maniac. You know what I mean?
More 100%, because it's not even just and The Martian is fantastic for that, because it's not just humanity trying to be our best. It's not just, hey, we're forcing ourselves forward because we're the great pioneers, manifest destiny, and all that jazz. The Martian is legitimately, hey, there are problems with what we have going on at home on Earth. We've tried to work them out. We're trying to work them through a Luna colony. And now we're trying to do Mars because we want to continue to build, because the more we build and grow and spread, the more we can be unified. Yeah. And that's an interesting point when everyone working together. Same with what was the movie where everyone works together with Ryan Gosling, the newest one?
Oh, Project Hail Mary.
Project Hail Mary, thank you.
Which is great. I don't want to live on Earth because it's dying. But
no, that dying, that's a dead sun is the scariest thing.
Yeah. I don't want that.
You can't do anything about it.
It is similar in the fact that they are taking this seriously, and it's something that, like, is still celebrated to learn these things. And the thing I liked about The Martian, and it kind of conveys, is that they don't shy away from art.
Yep.
They don't shy away from music. That, like, it is an important part of what gets you through. Now, I realize when it comes to filmmaking, you have to have music in there with this.
Absolutely.
But it's how you tell that. And they do a good job. And that made me hopeful for a future like that once all the idiots are gone.
I agree. That Fleetwood Mac connection, like, just the fact that he could make that connection with his commander and kind of mock her
ABBA.
for it.
All their disco
ABBA,
music.
sorry, yes.
Because they
ABBA.
played so much ABBA in it. I have Waterloo
Which was
stuck in my head.
amazing. But using that connection with Jessica Chastain and Matt Damon, and then also something that there's a brevity to it. There's a brevity and a levity. And the fact that they bring all of that to you, saying, look, it's not because he's trying to show how smart he is. It's showing that having that smarts at the right time allows you to be successful. And I think that's a lesson that so many people have lost. We're not telling you go to college. We're not telling you to learn more. We're not telling you get certificates to show off how badass you are. We're doing that to say survival is a thing. Human beings have only gotten post-survival since the 1910s. You know, we're not living that long since the time where the Great Dust Bowl in 1929 caused issues with the entire world's economy. So, you know,
Yep.
use your brain and don't be a dick. Don't just try to get money, because guess what? You're gonna fail.
It's, you know, actually, I want to say some of the Grandizer on ABBA, as you say. I agree, it is Europop, because they did win Eurovision with Waterloo.
No way, did they really?
That's what I don't know how many times they won it, but that was one of the one time Waterloo won Eurovision.
Waterloo won?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know if that was their first one, and that's like it propelled them.
Oh, okay. That would actually make sense. Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case, because I think they've won more than once, but I'm not 100% sure. The only thing I will say in contrast to what you're saying is it wasn't made as disco, but the sound fit America's version of disco really well, and that's what helped them propel to fame over here. So yeah, technically it didn't start that way, but it is famously known for disco by people like me who don't understand music that well.
Well, no, more importantly, by people like us, a generation that didn't live through that.
True.
So when we hear Andy Gibb do Night Moves, and people, my mom goes, Night Moves and Andy Gibb were the greatest thing on earth from 1974, and I loved them, and I like, oh my gosh, I listened to that record. It's like, well, I can't equate that, because in my mind, I'm trying to listen to Oasis and Nirvana when they were on the radio at the same time. We were growing up at that time. So we had all of those things happening. Sarah McLachlan, my all-time favorite. By the way, I went and saw her live.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
I went and saw her live for her new album.
Why?
And by the way, seeing Sarah McLachlan live, that was a life-changing experience. It's one of the greatest things that ever happened. I ignored everyone I was there with, and I was locked into her, and it was like she and I had our moment, bro. We had our moment.
Because you were holding a cat that looked like it was half dead.
You don't worry about that, all right? She just has.
So she was singing to the cat.
You know what the funny thing is too? I left before Angel got played.
You know what annoys me is you went out and bought one of her T-shirts. You know why it annoys me? Because I can't fit in concert tees.
Well, why? They make make your size, bro.
No, they don't. Well, maybe now, you know, I wasn't always this big, but like I was always tall. And every time I bought a concert shirt,
that's fair,
it rode up a bit.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like,
especially
and then I got fat and it definitely rode up. I think the last concert tee I bought was like Bruce Springsteen.
Hey, look, we're not here about body shaming. If you want to wear a midriff tee, bruh, live your truth.
No, I'll body shame myself over that one. That's a no-go. Non sequitur for me. But that is our top five.
There's the top five.
Our top five for this week. I want to get into the governance real quick. You ready for it?
Oh yeah. Yep.
I would love to. I want you to teach me, because, like, listen, it's not that I don't know what they are, but you're going to use movies, and movies is always a great way to teach me anything. You take these. I can't believe you bought that hat too. Sarah McLachlan shirt. Ugh. Red Sox hat. Ugh. Even more. I got to do another for the Red Sox hat. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Who? The greatest team on earth?
No, they're not the Dodgers.
Ooh, what?
I don't even know who's doing well this year.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, it's that whole. It's now post All-Star game world. So now that we're post All-Star game, I can actually pay attention, because before the All-Star game, like I love opening month, not even opening week. I love the whole opening month. And then after that, I in the morning constitutional, I bring it up real quick just to take a look. And then after the All-Star break, I start going, okay, now it matters. Now, we're about to hit August. We're about to hit the race. The Sox are actually in the run. Where we got a wild card option. So just saying, it's fun.
I hope they lose that horribly and they never get in, and they have to. I want another curse. How does that work? How do I find somebody who can, an old witch doctor or something that can curse them?
I don't know how, but I hope to see it.
It's just me and a dude shaking a stick at Fenway Park. And it's just like, come on, do it. But the dude's name is like Eric, and he looks like one of the boys from Boy Meets World for some reason.
Will Friedle, what are you doing?
No, not him. His name was Eric. I want another one.
Ryder Strong, what are you doing?
He's too cool. He ain't shaking no sticks. It was Minkus. You failed.
Minkus was good. Minkus was good.
I'm gonna get Minkus to Jaleel White.
Let me preface this one because this was something that we had discussed a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
So a few weeks ago, we for July 4th, we really wanted to try to do the most Americana thing we could and be as political as possible without being rude. So we wanted to take this and comparatively take, well, okay, look at all of the forms of government and let's look through all of movies. And this was a beautiful point that Mick brought up. And I was a really big fan of it when he was like, I really want to know what drives the point home of what it's supposed to be. And I think that was just that word supposed to be. So what I did is I took portions of that and I have explanations. I have definitions. So we're going to go through it because this is a whole thing. So we're going to start by trying to explain each movie.
Do I have to guess?
No. I know. I'm going to make this very clear. This is 101.
Oh, I love it. Okay, cool.
No, this is not me I'm not trying to gotcha. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm trying to show the best form of what that government is meant to be.
Love it.
So
I love it.
So from your perspective, because I'm very curious, I'm going to go ahead and bring up what the form of government is.
Yeah, please do, because so I can keep track there.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to start right at the top. We're going to go easy. Okay, we're going to start with a democracy. All right. Okay. A democracy, a direct democracy, because there are many democracies. There's a representative democracy, a parliamentary democracy. What we live in
communism
is a representative democracy. All right. Okay. An active democracy is where citizens vote directly on laws and policy without intermediary. So if we had basically a big giant body that came to us every month and said, hey, I need every human being to walk outside and cast a vote for this thing. Whatever the vote cast is, we're listening. Whoever the majority is wins. Period.
So by the people, for the people, literally.
Look, that's the whole idea. Now, the simple fact is that gets unruly. How in the world can you trust the people who are supposed to be gathering all the voices and information? So that's why we have a representative democracy, because direct democracy just don't work, baby. We got too many people. I love the idea of it. It would be beautiful. It just doesn't work.
I do think that more direct, one thing I want to touch on, I always believe that people voting on more than the representatives do, I think is more important. I think we should at least have a certain set of rules for like whatever certain laws or whatever, we get to vote on them over them.
Yes.
Because they don't pass shit.
No, I agree. And that's part of what a referendum is supposed to be. When you hear about us having a referendum, hey, we got to vote on Bill HB 120 or whatever it is, that's us getting the opportunity to have a direct democracy.
I voted for Prop 50 in California when it was coming to same-sex marriage.
That's awesome. And that is what theoretically a direct democracy should be, which is what our states are meant to be.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and that gets into, honestly, I could spend all night doing that, but we're trying to hit high level. So banging through my high level. I think there's actually two movies to me that show how a representative democracy or the republic that we live in, I'm not taking the movie on whole. I am taking scenes from the movie that show us where we are. Not necessarily ideal, but where we are. So Mr. Smith Goes to Washington will always be one of the best versions of this. I think hands down, if you watch that movie, you truly understand because of how many people he has to go speak to get his point made. And that is what we live in today. The other option I use towards this is Lincoln. If you want to see how, and honestly, it's no scenes with Lincoln in it. It's only the ones with Tommy Lee Jones that show you how the House and the Senate operate and how votes actually get done and how work gets done. Now, that's showing you the ideal perspective of the 1860s. We clearly have come much further than that. And I do not want to insult anyone by trying to think that I'm saying, well, this is the only way it's supposed to be done, or that is just truly what an idealistic representation is supposed to look like. That's it. Pure and simple.
I'm still on board.
Okay. Do you have one that you'd like to consider, or anything?
You're the man on this. I'm gonna.
Another really great one. Part of the republic is also constitutional rule of law, which is part of you can't have a republic without the people saying, "Hey, we're not that smart." But the lawyers are, and they understand laws. And once they put the laws in, then we can have the ideas of these are what we need to live within. 12 Angry Men is a great show of that. And the reason I say 12 Angry Men, because 12 Angry Men has one head juror. 12 Angry Men has 11 other people who need to have that conversation. So out of the 12, you have one person that everyone has to go to tell them your decision. And that's a really good show of what a representative democracy at its core should be.
Okay. I dig it.
Should be. Not always is, but should be. Okay. Okay.
Like it. Nice. Good movie, too.
Yeah. Oh, great one. Okay. Constitutional monarchy.
Okay.
Now, monarchies are broken up into many different ways. A monarchy is mono, single person who's in charge, such as a king and queen. They rule. It is either absolute monarchy, which is unlimited unlimited power because they're freaking nuts.
England
Usually
before
have all the power.
Parliament, right?
Precise. And the other one is a parliamentary monarchy.
I wasn't trying to step on toes. I'm trying to throw something out there, like for me and maybe others who don't understand. Like before Parliament stepped in, it was purely the royals, correct? And they ran.
Absolutely. I mean, and one of the best ways to this plays perfectly because one of the best ways to look at that is Marie Antoinette. Now, Marie Antoinette was a remake, but I go back to it because this is the Kirsten Dunst version I'm speaking of. Seeing how her and her husband at the time, just having an emotion could change the state of affairs for an entire swath of people. Because if they just decided, you know what, I don't want indigo anymore. I want this chunk of France to grow cotton. They could say that, they could send the army and they could force farmers to completely change. And here's the other problem. The soil might not be ready or able to survive that crop. So then instead they kill the people, blaming them instead of, hey, you try to grow this in the mountains where it needs to be next to water. Yeah. So this is why absolute monarchy fails. And I think one of the best versions of that is Marie Antoinette, because you see how their emotions can change the face of a nation and hurt countless people.
Great. And turn on the news here in America.
Yep. Okay, so now to the next side. That's the absolute monarchy.
Mm-hmm.
The constitutional monarchy. Now, this is what happened after 1218 with the Magna Carta. 1215 with the Magna Carta. This is when the peasants rose up and they said, enough of your bullshit. You don't just get to decide. How about we still have a say because we're dealing with this? The nobles were dealing with it. So whenever we talk about the peasants roll up, it was actually the nobles who were like, this guy's being a dick and we don't all agree with him because maybe he's not God touched. Maybe we do have a say and a right to say where our money goes and what we want to do.
Well, to imagine just for a second, though, to play off that point, to kind of, because it helps me understand a little bit, to kind of build off of that. Yeah, if you're paying taxes and you could be raided and then sold into slavery, and you have no say, that's a problem.
That is a major problem. Ask Robert the Bruce; he knows it well. So it's
touche.
I'm just saying, history,
good
baby.
Story. It's a good one.
It's a good story, but it didn't come out that way.
No.
Okay, so as far as a constitutional monarchy, where you have a group of parliament that once again represents your nobles and your common, so that way you're trying to get the best from these two houses to agree, and then going to your monarch, who is more representative, but also maybe a leader of the church or some kind of figurehead who is a leader of something.
Yeah.
And you just want to have that proof that, look, our big leader and our two sub leaders can all get along and also represent the people and the will of the people in the best way possible.
Okay.
So one of the really good movies that does this is The Queen with Helen Mirren.
Yeah, working against Tony Blair at the time, right?
Exactly. Just seeing how they interacted. The other one is actually Mrs. Brown. Mrs. Brown does a fantastic job of this. Yes, it's a love story. Judi Dench, Billy Connolly, beautiful. But the guy who plays Benjamin Disraeli, who at the time was the British PM, who was coming and speaking with Elizabeth, they have these incredible conversations that are so quick and yet tell you how much of the government's lifeblood, what can happen to the people just because of this and because of inquisitive things and questions. And so that was a really interesting format to show that. So those are the ones for me that I think do a really good job of showing that constitutional monarchy.
Love it.
All right. Now we get into some more interesting ones. A dictatorship. A dictatorship is a single leader or a small ruling group, usually of three. Councils don't generally get bigger than three. 5 is a stretch, man, because it's hard to get 5 people to have a genuine conversation, especially when your leader, Joseph Stalin, is supposed to be, has the absolute power and is not restricted by constitution or opposition, meaning no one speaks against them because if they do, they're dead. So you have 2 of this for me. Number 1, the death of Stalin might be one of the greatest depictions of that, because seeing how everyone's trying to vie for the power that one man held, and you've got 6 other dudes just trying to fight for that.
Yeah.
So it's a comedy and it's really well done,
No, they play
But
off
it's
each
the
other
fact
real
that-
well.
Yeah. But the fact that you can have that much power under one roof, and even when he's dead, they're still afraid of him. So I think that's really important for a dictatorship. I will say I go to The Last King of Scotland here because I think that shows you, because yes, it's a third world nation. It's difficult for people to put their heads behind being Idi Amin. However, to just see the state of what a dictatorship is, I think it's very effective at doing that.
Very nice. Love that choice. Both of them.
Totalitarianism, baby. This is a great one. It's a more extreme form of authoritarianism where the state attempts to control every aspect of public and private life, including economy and individual liberty. My all-time great for this that will never be surmounted or put down, in my opinion, is V for Vendetta. I think it still shows what an absolute totalitarianism looks like.
Okay. I love that choice.
Yeah. 1984 is good. 1984 gets goofy, so it's hard to follow along as much. But V for Vendetta, when you're paying attention to what the government does and how people have to interact, that's 100%. That is
I love that choice. That's a great. And in 1984, although I do want to say to anybody out there watching or listening, 1984 is A, worth the read. B, it's on top of that, watch the movie.
Yeah. And if you're not going to watch 1984, watch Brazil. Same movie.
Brazil, good movie.
Yeah. And Brazil, honestly, Jonathan Price is better. Sorry. I'll just say it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, yeah. All right. I won't argue with that. Brazil's out there. I like Gilliam.
Yeah. Gilliam. Yes, it's funny and goofy, but I feel like 84 gets more off point, whereas the Killian
they take their liberties with the book.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. Communism. All right. Theoretical economic system.
Please explain this one, because I feel like it's the most fuck you, McCarthy. It's the most misunderstood in America governing oversight, or
it absolutely is. So there's the communism and socialism. These are not both governmental entities. This is where you're wrong. Socialism is an economic and socio-political ideal. Okay. There has to be another driver in a socialistic world.
Mm-hmm.
Communism is the government that Karl Marx and his socialistic ideals were meant to create, to then give the power to the workers. The whole idea is, in a communism, you work, you get what you equal return. Okay, so I work 8 hours a day. My skills are necessary at a power plant, so I work at that power plant. But that doesn't mean that the people at the water plant don't deserve power, and the people at the power plant don't deserve water. It doesn't mean the people who farm don't deserve power and water. Doesn't mean that I don't deserve food as being a power worker. So that's the whole idea of a communism, a system where a single authoritarian party controls both the political system and the economy, which would be your socialistic side of it.
Mm-hmm. Communal, community.
Yes, communal. The theoretical goal of eliminating private property and achieving social equality. How do we do that? This is where everyone screws this up.
Yeah, can I just ask that please explain the difference between Soviet and other communist governing bodies? So when I said governing body earlier, it's because it has been taken in turn, but I'd love for you to explain the differences.
Absolutely, and I love this part. So the reason I love communism, and that's where we got canceled.
Oh boy.
Because communism, guys, communism is great. Communism is we are all equal. Everyone pisses and shits. Everyone eats. Everyone has babies. Everyone has dreams. Everyone has goals. Everyone can do the best version of whatever they can do. The simple fact is, why are you so worried about getting these things physically? Why do I need all of the things and the newest things and the better things to show off, right? The idea of communism is I don't need to show off. I just want to make sure I can feed my family, I can have a good life, and I can have all the basic needs and handle. That's communism. If I work, I should have those things. Why wouldn't I? Why does John Rockefeller deserve more than me just because he was able to have the connections to make the things happen the way he did? Well, I didn't have those connections. Does that suddenly mean I'm stupider than John Rockefeller? No, it just means I didn't have those opportunities. So we see as in capitalism, opportunities are the champions. Well, they just had better opportunities than we did. And that doesn't mean they're better people. Yeah, for some reason they get catapulted. In a communism, it's I can't hear you, bro. I can't hear you, buddy.
Oh, sorry. Apologies. That went down because I yelled. I don't see I'm trying to put it in a way where it's like what bothers me is we've grown into a society where if you have money, you're automatically seen as intelligent.
Correct.
But it's never shown through anyone who has money that they have intelligence.
Nope.
Everything they write, everything they talk about is a grift that they're trying to sell you something or sell you on the idea that they figured out how to maneuver. They're great in this world, but they're actually just breaking rules left and right.
And that's the unfortunate part of late stage communism is where it turns into the pure grift where everyone is just out to make money. It is purely to make money. Communism, and the ideal is to build society, to build a stronger world where your kids are going to have better opportunities because you were willing to take a shit job that still supplied and gave everything your family needed, and you were able to be happy and you enjoyed yourself. But it sets up the opportunity for your kid to have a better life because everything is now a step up. So, yeah, I worked in a coal mine, but then my kid's going to work in a gas mine, and then their kid is going to work on an asteroid belt. Because all of us have been working at the same pace. So everyone's been able to build, and we've become better together. The problem is in a communism, there is one major thing that has to happen. Two. Number one, you have to have a revolution. You have to break whatever system you're in. That is absolutely one of the toughest things to do. The second thing is now you have to put someone in charge who's going to help create the system that will perpetuate beyond them. So that way, when they're dead, it doesn't matter because the system is ready to be handed off to the people. Theoretically, this could happen within 20 years. You should be able to have everything together and be like, all right, guys, I think we got it all set. We can go fuck off and be done. And now the world should be able to operate.
I will do that for you because I've never sought power. I'm fine with it.
This is the issue that happened between we look at, let's say, Stalin and Mao. Okay. Mao put himself in a better position to be able to do that, but he led more towards totalitarianism because he didn't want to lose the money that was coming into the country.
Yeah, it's all once you get the power, you get the.
So he had all of it and he didn't want to lose it. Stalin didn't want to lose the power that he had. So one didn't want to lose the money, the other one didn't want to lose the power. Yeah. And Stalin did not put things in place to better everyone in a communist society. Instead, he just used it as a threat because he was a thug. So at the end of the day, he just wanted to bully people and get his way. Nikita Khrushchev, who took over afterwards, same guy. All of these guys do the same thing. No one's worried about trying to make things better for the everyone, which theoretically is what a communism is meant to be. You have someone come over, they take control, they go, we got all this together, we're going to figure this out. Okay, you know what? We've got all the systems in place. I've made everything fit. I've got all the right people in charge. And I'm out. And in theory, it should go from a authoritarian one into sort of this panel, this idea of maybe 28, like a representative
council.
kind of
which I've argued in the past. Yeah. I think we need more council more than we need heads of governing.
And that's the idea of communism, is to have several councils. So that way you have, all right, here's the food council, here's the travel council, here's the space.
You got to get rid of
council.
parties, though, because the Supreme Court shows us what happens when it's parties. It's still divided. So you need a council who you can get fresh voices in over time.
Exactly.
To keep things going. But anyway, I'm taking this off course. What's your movie that represents communism?
So oddly enough, it's The Lives of Others.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
a weird
interesting
one.
Poll.
It's one that, so I was doing research on these, and I pulled up over probably 300 movies trying to get all this squared away. And I realized The Lives of Others is actually the one that's going to relate you the most. That's the one that's going to show you where a communism can be successful, but also why human nature and who we are will never allow it to be successful. Yeah. So that's where we live. We just live in that world. So that's where we are with communism. That's what a communism is. Don't sacrifice and cut my nuts off. That's a legitimate what it is. Yeah. Do I agree with the ideals of communism? Absolutely. Are they available to us as human beings? Fuck no. Because we have too many people who just won't, it can't happen. It just can't
But
happen.
ideally, all of these governments, even dictatorships, totalitarianism, authoritarianism, all of them, everything all together, if it's a good person in charge, they should technically work.
Yep.
But that's the problem. Power corrupts. People don't want to let go of it. So it becomes bastardized versions. And the American communism, just to kind of elaborate on that, which people in the 20s, 30s, when people were fed up with losing their money and the Gilded Age was over now and they just want to try and make ends meet and the government was screwing them. They were looking into communism. The only reason it has the connotation it does now is A, because of what Soviets did with it.
Stalin. Yeah, not
Stalin
Lenin.
specifically.
That
Yeah.
Lenin actually was he was a teacher who was on board with doing the right thing. Stalin.
Yeah, it ended quickly though. Lenin wasn't around long.
Well, exactly, because Stalin was the thug who saw his opportunity.
Yeah. I think Lenin catches a lot more shit because of Stalin. But yeah, that's a great point too. There's some great movies about that aspect of it too. You should. I'll find out the titles too. But just to elaborate on this one more time, is like and McCarthyism, which was propelled by the government overall. Joseph McCarthy, we know that. But
the Red Scare. Yep.
That's why we're at this point where communism became the boogeyman because they needed a boogeyman after the Nazi.
Yep. And that's the unfortunate thing too, is if we had shut our fucking heads and actually helped out Ho Chi Minh in 1932 with the League of Nations when he came to us trying to break free of any sort of tyrannical things. But the problem is the tyranny he was trying to fight himself from and free Vietnam from was in fact Chiang Kai-shek in China, who we were backing, which was a mistake because then who took over? Mao Zedong. And then what do we have? Ultimate communism. We always have a big bad. Yep. So there's a whole thing there.
I love it. You're great. I want to know what else you got. What's the next?
Okay. Yeah, I've only got a couple more. Let's just hammer through them. Fascism.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
Okay. Fascism. I'm going to pull out in a couple ways. Obviously, there's a Nazi movie. All right. Let's just be very clear.
They're like the perfect version of it.
No.
For explaining. I mean,
for explaining
modern fascism.
I think fascism is one of those because it falls under totalitarianism, and people don't also understand that fascism is elected into. Totalitarianism is someone coming in and saying, "This shit's mine. You're fucking dead."
Yeah.
Fascism is the people going, "You know what? There's enough of us, and we happen to outnumber those other people we don't like. So we're going to take those other people, and we're going to decide that we're going to vote in someone who has the power to do whatever they want to do, as long as they are following our ideals."
So what is your movie for this? CNN?
You want a really good one that's going to blow your mind?
What's that?
Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh yeah, that's a great choice for fascism. That is a great choice to explain fascism.
Because that puts you on ground level fascism, but
his first movie, The Orphanage, too.
It takes a fantasy and shows you this extreme dynamic. And you go, well, yeah, but that's just a small cut of how, but that is to the letter what fascism is. The way he does that is 1,000%. It is what fascism is.
Yep.
Like, I mean, I can't think of another one.
By you saying that because I completely forgot. That's such a great movie.
It is. They oddly enough, American History X kept coming up, and actually, I do understand why it did, and I make that an honorable mention because Stacy Keach's character actually does preach and work from the perspective of being a fascist leader. So I think that's something to take from, but there's a lot in American History X, and it's tough to boil it down to one thing. It's a beautiful movie. Check it out if you haven't seen it.
It really is. Like, I think that gets such a negative connotation because of the enthusiasm behind the Nazism with the white supremacists, but you got to watch the movie and see the message, the themes and the message that are there. They're really anti, and it's so well done.
And it's all so subtle. Well, I mean, it's that I'll go back to Starship Troopers, man, because Starship Troopers is also another sign of that's more of that goes back to a parliamentary democracy is really what it is. However, because they're telling you how to live your life, it's also an authoritarian. So it's really weird. That's why I love that movie, because it has like 15 different things that shouldn't make sense. So
I love it.
Great.
I love it.
One of the biggest ones that I think people skip over and need to fully understand and need to hear all the way out. There's two more here. I've got oligarchy and I've got theocracy. These are the two that we are in and people do not understand. Theocracy. Leaders claim to rule on behalf of a divine power. State laws are heavily based on religious texts. You've heard this, Sharia law. You've also heard this, well, we were raised as a Christian state. No, we weren't. We were raised as a deist state that believed in the United States as being everyone can believe anything they want, because Quakers in Pennsylvania got in fights, arguments, and killed Puritans in Connecticut. Let us not forget how far we've come. There was a point where we killed each other or kicked each other out in Massachusetts because you weren't Puritan enough. Hence, we founded Vermont.
And we treated witches like shit.
Yeah. We weren't great with them. You know, but
it's poor women.
Remember, we didn't light them on fire. They had a floater. I can't even.
I mean, we know where we're at because we're doing it sarcastically, but it is insane. It's insane.
It's insane, but that's real. So a theocracy
I slept with her. I'm just going to call her a witch. Like, are you kidding?
I'm gonna give you the easiest one for theocracy because I think it's the most poignant and I think it really truly sends it home is A Handmaid's Tale.
I love that.
It's a crap movie. The movie itself was
I like the show. I didn't see the movie. I know there is.
The show is way better.
Like the 70s or 80s or something.
It is, yeah. I think it's like 80. Yeah. So
I love that choice. Great choice. Can I add one that might be
please. Yes.
The movie Mandy. The theme of it is conviction.
Yep.
And he runs a cult and it's a theocracy in a post-apocalyptic world. I think it fits. So
it does.
Both movies, like your movie was a great choice, but it made me also think of Mandy and the themes in it.
Well, and it is, and that's the other thing about a theocracy. A theocracy is a cult. Let's not. There's no splitting hairs here.
You can love God and praise Him, but
you can mean this or something like that. No, a theocracy is a cult.
If the guy you're listening to is wearing robes, like whatever, have fun.
Just saying, live your life. But how dare you tell other people to live theirs? This is America. We believe in freedom. I believe in Sarah McLachlan. I'll also pull out my gun and blow your fucking head off. You know what? I don't.
That's a funny thing you mentioned that. I don't mind. Go ahead and tell me how I'm supposed to live because I can just walk away because it's America, really right. But at the same time, it's like because I do believe in free speech and I do believe I don't believe in free stupidity. And and the thing is, if you want to live in a theocracy, and a lot of people in this country do.
Oh yeah, they do. Yep,
they really do.
Yep.
I know you're full of shit because your orange overlord is the least religious person to ever exist as far as I'm concerned. And you follow him like he's the trendsetter of religion.
Trying to say
and you treat Jesus like Jesus is outdated.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. I do have a second one for this because
I want to hear it. Please.
No, this ties in very well to the theocratic ideals, and also you get to see people die from a volcano. It's called Agora.
Oh, I've never seen that.
2009. I apologize. Set in Roman-controlled Egypt, it depicts the rise of religious extremism and the shift towards a theocratic state that restricts philosophy, science, and women's rights. It's got Rachel Weisz. It's got a great cast, brother. Agora.
I'm watching it. No, I'm looking at it.
Now, look,
Oscar Isaac's in it.
Yeah, it did not do great in the movies, and I don't know why, but I love the crap out of this movie.
I'll check it out.
It is legit a very good movie. So
if it came out in 2009 and it's more of a spoken movie instead of an action, I could see why. Because 300 really set a bar.
You know what?
And set people down away.
That's valid.
I could see why. I'm not saying it shouldn't have done well. It's called Agora.
And Agora is also longer. It's almost 2 hours and 40 minutes. You get 3 full acts. It's almost like a Cecil B. DeMille movie. It's a classic Hollywood film, you know?
Yeah. So when you're done with these, will you send them to me with the governing bodies that correlate? Because I want to make a list on Letterboxd of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll put you down and everything. So that everybody can go and look on the Letterboxd. And guys, we keep lists of our shows and the movies we talk about
all the time.
So Casey, I'll give you the login if you want to go and start making some lists for the scenes.
Yeah, man. I got a boatload. Yeah. And I mean, I have my own that I've been trying to build out. I suck at staying on top of it.
This is great. This is very, very intelligent research that you put into this, especially for movies.
Thanks, man. Well, this was a big deal. Like when you brought this up, this meant a lot to me because this is something that has meant. Like, I feel like I learned this in social studies in 9th grade, and these are things that stuck with me. So every time I've watched a movie, every time I've seen a governmental aspect, anytime anyone has tried to explain anything, I'm like, yes, look, there's the ideal version of what it actually is per definition versus what we've experienced. And I think that's the problem is too many people have lost that understanding of what it's supposed to be or what it means. A theocracy being led by your fucking religion, you're going to get a bunch of people getting fucking murdered. Or you're going to get a whole Spanish Inquisition all over again. It's not worth it, guys. This is a problem. And these movies, I'm trying to show you that you're killing the wrong people. You're willing to kill because of a different ideal. Where's freedom in that? Where's the freedom in that? You want to talk about us being a democracy and being free? Show me where the freedom is when we're listing these things and you can honestly see yourself agreeing with some of these perspectives.
Yeah. Yep.
So when I say a patriotic show, I mean because we worked really hard to get to the point where we don't have to worry about dying, about what we say.
He
How
worked
we
really
raise our
hard on
kids.
this. He worked extremely
we did so
hard
much
on
for
this.
this. We did so much to get here, and
I
this
made
is a
graphics.
beautiful moment.
I made the link. Listen,
bastard.
I know what topics I just need to let Casey shine. I just need to this is like
All right.
this is above
And
my
now
pay grade.
for my absolute favorite.
Okay.
My number one, this is my tip top. This is where I want to live because I truly am this. I am an anarchist, my friend. I am.
Well, you forgot capitalism too.
I believe in pure freedom. I believe in do whatever you want as long as you don't hurt anyone else. And if you do, you should be able to get killed and everybody just carries on because it's Monday and no one gives a shit because you were.
Yeah, they do that just for innocent people. Why can't we do it for the guilty?
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
So drag
I
the
laugh
guilty,
because
baby.
It drives me crazy.
Drag the guilty. So the one I go for this is going to blow your mind. And these are actually side by side for me.
If it's ET, okay. I hate you.
That was a good joke. Holy cow, bro. No, it's not, but that was a good joke. No, I've got Children of Men.
Oh, yeah. Because there is no real governance.
It is not a great movie.
I like that movie.
No, it's a good movie. It's not a great movie.
All right, I'm with you.
It's not a great movie, but it is also Clyde. What's his nuts? Oh my gosh,
Owens. Yeah.
Owens. Thank you. That was Clive Owen at basically his peak. That was his ultimate. And I've always believed Clive Owen is one of the better actors of the aughts. I think truly for me, he was one of the better actors of the aughts. I think what he's able to portray is the everyman because it's not the gunfights. Don't worry about that. When I talk about Children of Men, I'm not talking about what he's doing from that perspective. I'm talking about the fact that he is carrying on and doing what you should be able to do in complete opposite of a totalitarian government because everything he fights is the government against having babies. It's the entirety of the whole thing. So it's taking every freedom out. They go to checkpoints constantly. They can't have cars properly. They can't have homes properly. You go through that whole thing and you actually watch it from that perspective and it will blow your mind. As a movie itself, if you're just watching it to be entertained, it's kind of boring and not really
I
great.
do get I'll agree with you on that sense. I mean, for me, the cinematography in that movie is astounding.
Gorgeous. Holy cow.
And when I think back on that, and you know me, like I tend to go more toward I take the story and I always appreciate and want that the most, but like the technical is what I jump into when I think about movies from the past because that like draws me in like, okay, what was this? So for me, I think visually it's a great movie.
Beautiful.
But I agree with you. It's pretty good. It's a good movie. It's all right. It's an interesting story.
It's all right. You can easily walk right over it. It's a little boring. It doesn't feel great. There are certain scenes where it's like, why the fuck are we doing this? Why are we here? But honestly, if you're looking at it from a governmental perspective of understanding what a future holy shit balls could look like, this is what you get with the true anarchy. Okay. And I think that's one of my favorites. So I'm a big fan of that one. And then Mad Max Fury Road, baby. You want anarchy?
So what fits under oligarchy? What fits under oligarchy? Is that fascism too? Or is it?
I'm sorry. Power rests with a small elite segment of society, usually defined by wealth, family status, or military control. I just dropped my phone thinking I mic dropped.
Oh, you're good.
And I did not.
I'm going to tell you the number one movie that represents capitalism.
Please.
Space Jam 2.
Okay, explain.
Do I need to? Have you seen it? Warner Brothers threw in every character they ever had in there. It was a money cash grab. That whole movie was like LeBron being like, you know what? Money. Don Cheadle sold his soul in that one.
Okay. I do actually have to hear that. I don't love this one, but I think if you want to reach a certain group, you have to be able to speak to them. So an oligarchy that actually represents what we think of as an oligarchy is the Hunger Games. You have the different districts, district 1 through 12, everything spreads out. You have the obviously centralized money where all the big things are, and then it filters down from there. That is the most kindergarten way to explain an oligarchy, but it does get the point across. I think if you truly believe in depth and you actually want to fucking pay attention, Snowpiercer.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Yep.
Snowpiercer is the one that gets you the most out of everything, every step of the way. Because Hunger Games is tough for that because Hunger Games is so focused on the rebellion that you don't. President Snow doesn't. Who is this figurehead? What is he really representing? Oh, there's game masters. Oh, there's too many weird, odd bits. But as far as trying to get a hold of someone to understand from this generation, I think that's a good way to do it. But Snowpiercer is 1,000% exactly what it is. That is an oligarchy all the way down.
This is what happens when 2 weeks go by and we don't really talk that much. It's
We
like
have a
get
2-hour
like
show
2
because we
hour
fall in love.
show or some shit, which I'm not mad at by any means.
No, me
but,
neither,
like,
brother. This has been great. I
this is a
love
good
you,
one.
man.
I said we
This is
continue
wonderful.
on next week. Why don't we do the classical literature one that you had the idea for?
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
But let's make the twist. Let's try and divulge through history the movies that best represent certain levels of history and literature. And we'll go through and we'll do our top 5. We'll do our top 5 historical figures in movies. And by specific
I'm going to have
movie.
a boner the whole time we do this.
By specific movie too. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So like you can't just say like Odysseus in everything. You got to pick one, and you don't have to pick Odysseus. I'm just using that example.
No, but I mean, good use. No, I get it. Awesome. I only have one little bit here. I mean, we hit the 2-hour mark, so normally we want to wrap up.
Yeah, please, sir.
Thank you everyone for listening. I appreciate it as always. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves and got a little smile out of it. Maybe learned something. Maybe got a new movie you're going to go check out and hopefully see from a different perspective. Currently, you may notice that I'm in a different room. I am not actually in my house. I am not at my new place. I'm not at my old place. I lost a friend yesterday. I lost a good friend, an old friend, a friend who we shared a lot of time in the kitchen. One of the only times I worked in the restaurant where I was in the kitchen was with him. He and I always managed to have conversations about movies, and we always spoke about literature, and we always spoke about art. And he and I were very in depth on what the art was, what the art meant, and what the art was to us and to each other. It was something that he was one of those many embers that burn in a great fire that inspire us to do something like this. The reason I am so passionate about podcasting and doing this with my friend Mike is because of conversations with my friend Dan. And Dan is gone, and it is hard. And he listened to our show. He supported us, and it was a wonderful, beautiful thing that he did that. And he did that with so many other of his friends. He listened to their show. He supported their show. When we had conversations, we could get in depth because we could go from talking about Gonzo, talking about the long road home. We could go Kerouac. We could go in all these weird beatnik ideals and then bring it back to music and bring it back to movies and then talk about what future things, who's the next version of those sorts of things. His inspirational conversations were something very special and something not often heard. So it's because of men like him that I've been inspired to do a show like this and to speak the way I have, because the only way we communicate and we become better is through conversation and through having different ideals and different hopes and being able to share those. So I love you, Dan. Miss you. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. And Mick, I love you, brother. I'm sorry it's been 2 weeks. Last week.
Dude, I get it. I wasn't upset.
But,
we actually,
yeah.
I'm glad last week you couldn't be here. Not glad, but because Joe stepped in and we had an amazing conversation about visual effects artists and gave me an idea for the show.
Hell yeah.
I'm not keeping it going. To invite below the line crew on and talk to them
that's
about their
amazing.
Yes. Yeah. So we're gonna I'm in the works of trying to get more people on, and I'm trying to get more industry folks so that way they could talk about like what unions they're in, things like that, and really get an idea of what works. So it was like a happy accident that you weren't here. You were sick last week. So like it was nice that like we could do that, because that idea I think is gonna be awesome when we came.
Oh, it's amazing. And I think that's where you get the truth. That's the people who are working. That's the people who are doing the job. And I think doing the job, it shows just so much more, and it's so much greater depth. And it's truly 100%. Fantastic. So I love Joe. I'm freaking great.
We'll bring him on too. We'll come hang out with us.
Yeah, we got to talk Star Trek, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Star Trek Day is coming up too. So
September.
Listen, my condolences to you, to Dan's family, to the community that loved him, and thank you for all your support on the show. And we will miss you. And rest in peace. And Casey, always here for you, pal. You know that. And the Snob Nation will always be here for you too. But yeah, we'll miss you, and I do appreciate your support and being there for my friend. That always means a lot to me.
Love you guys.
I'm going to get to the more technical side. Please give this channel a subscribe. We've just gone over 3,000. I think we're at 3,017 right now.
Awesome. Thank you,
we're trying-
everybody.
Yeah, we're trying to build out. We want to be entertaining. We want to have fun. We want to talk about movies and other things that we really love. So we appreciate you guys. So hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you know when more shows like this and so many others are coming out. Make sure you go and you hit the like button because it really helps us. Maybe the hype button as well. I know there's a lot of buttons, but we do appreciate it. It helps us go a long way.
Press them
And
all.
I'd love to hear
Everybody
your
loves
comments.
buttons. It feels good to press buttons, baby.
It feels so good.
Ooh.
And join in, comment along. We don't always get to all the comments. Officially, Dan G, I saw you on there and I saw you wanted to collab. If you're still watching, email us at thescenesnobs@gmail and reach out to me there so that way we can talk. Grand Eyes are always great to see you. I love when you guys leave messages, especially on the movie reviews, and tell me how these movies impacted you, especially the old classic movies. It means so much. You tell your stories. I've been getting so many. Casey, you got to jump on because there's some great stories of people talking about like movies from the 60s, the 70s, and like going into the theater and what it felt like. And it's just been so cool to read all of these. So I really love that interaction. We do live shows. We do see your comments. We don't always get right to it because like we're in the middle of something, but we do see it and it makes us feel like you're there, you're with us, you're part of the crew just hanging out right now. So we do appreciate that. And that's what it's about. So thank you, Casey. We'll be back next week talking some fun stuff, and I might have a Greek helmet on. We'll see.
If he does, I watched it. We'll say that.
Listen, it's not a Roman war helmet, I'll tell you that.
No, it's Greek, baby.
It's going all Greek. But thank you guys again for joining in. Make sure you follow us at the Scene Snobs all over social media and on Letterboxd and Substack, where we keep lists, keep written reviews of all these movies and such. And we truly appreciate you being a part of it. We have a Patreon. You can support the channel. We have a couple of tiers where they have perks available. We'd love for you to be a part of it, and it really helps build out the channel the best that we can because we rely mostly on doing this from the viewers. We don't really have sponsors or anything.
I mean, it's all him. He does the work, babies.
Listen, if I can finagle this guy to make some videos, I will. I've wanted a history show for a long time, like history tie-in movies, and I think I got you, especially with this topic tonight.
This one got me hard, buddy. You really did lock me in. I was like,
would this be a good show? You just talk to the camera, man. This would be amazing. I love it. I want to say we do have one sponsor, an unofficial sponsor that we love and takes good care of us, and that is Shenanigans, the gentleman's club up in Schenectady, New York. Now on Uber Eats. You want to see lovely ladies dancing the night away? Go to Shenanigans, check them out. And I hear they have an all-female management, so that makes me feel actually more secure being in the place. So maybe go check them out and have a good old time. And I want to thank another person. As we know, James took a picture outside of the Shenanigans. If you take a picture outside with the Shenanigans sign or the building or whatever, we will send you a t-shirt from snobsmerch.com.
Darn too.
You could pick it out and we will send you the shirt in your size. And I want to thank James did that a few weeks ago, and I want to thank Chris. Chris went too, and he proved he went on a different day.
All right, with a new Target logo shirt. I love it.
It's perfect. So, Chris, thank you. James and Chris will be getting their shirts. We appreciate you. We also have merch available if you are a Patreon paid supporter as well. So if you want to join up on that, we do offer that. As we do that. Do. And now I'm feeling
do everyone.
I'm talking too much. We need to end this. I want to say thank you guys again. Thank you to Casey. Thank you to all of you watching, listening, and hanging out with us. Make sure you take care of yourselves, just like the man says. I think I took that because when you left, I wanted you to still be a part of the show.
Well, of course, buddy. I mean, I never didn't want to be part of the show, but yeah.
So I always feel like I took it, but I hope you know I took it for good reason.
Oh, I know I did. Hey, bro, it's be kind to yourself, be kind to everyone. All you ever say is like the man
now
said.
I'm trying to stop saying it.
I love that.
I want you to have it back, and I keep trying to stop.
No, but I love the way you say it. So it's what we do. It makes us work together, bro.
But listen to him because it's true. Take care of yourselves. That is important. But my saying, be kind, rewind, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Oh, shit.
Just wrapping up my podcast.